On the wedding day, a girl stood on the hotel rooftop with bloodstains on her skirt. She screamed that I had stolen her boyfriend, ruined their relationship, and caused her miscarriage. She called me a murderer who killed her child. Meanwhile, my groom, Gray Meng, carefully coaxed her down from the ledge, carried her away right in front of me, without offering a single word of explanation. On this day, my wedding was ruined, and I became the despised mistress everyone condemned. From then on, I endured overwhelming verbal abuse, eventually leading to a dazed state of mind and dying in a car accident. At that time, Gray Meng was standing with her at the wedding altar, reciting vows of unwavering commitment. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to this very wedding day. The girl in the white dress stands on the rooftop of the hotel. Beneath her skirt are bloodstains that have darkened to a deep red. Sobbing uncontrollably, she teeters on the edge. I glance at Gray Meng, who is staring tensely at the rooftop. His fingers unconsciously fidget rapidly, his body rigid with tension. I suddenly realized I had been reborn back to the day of the wedding, the beginning of my nightmare. Before Gray Meng could run away, I didn't care about anything else and grabbed his arm. Gray Meng, where are you going? He looked extremely impatient. Can't you see someone is about to jump off the building? I'm going to help. I clenched my fingers tightly, refusing to let go. In my previous life, he ran off and didn't return for a long time. When he reappeared, he was holding Ruby Lee and boarded the ambulance without looking back. He left without any explanation. I handled the mess of the wedding all by myself. I thought I'd hear his explanation first before dealing with the aftermath. Little did I expect that the video from that day would be posted online before I could act. I was labeled as the home-wrecking mistress. I drove the legal wife to attempt suicide and caused her to miscarry, losing her child. Now that lives have been lost, the male lead suddenly woke up, turned over a new leaf, and returned to his true love side. As for me, the venomous mistress, I ended up with nothing but ridicule, becoming the laughingstock of the wedding. In an instant, a torrent of abuse came crashing down on me. I repeatedly explained the whole story online, but no matter what I said, the enraged netizens simply refused to believe me. They only believed the truth they saw in the edited video. Using condemnation, slander, and insults, they reveled in an online frenzy. I went to confront Gray Meng and Ruby Lee, hoping they would speak the truth and clear my name. But all I got from them was a single "serves you right." By then, Ruby Lee had long shed the fragile, pitiable demeanor she had on the rooftop, looking down on me with an air of superiority, lifting my chin. "You think you can compete with me for Gray? Why don't you take a piss and look at yourself in it? See if you're even worthy. Everything happening to you now is exactly what you deserve. It's your own fault. Don't expect me to explain anything for you. Gray, you're not allowed to help her either. She almost became your bride. Surely you don't feel sorry for her, do you?" Gray Meng gently took her wrist and carefully wiped her fingers that had touched me with a wet tissue. "Ruby, I've explained to you many times, from beginning to end, the only person I've ever loved is you. The only one who can make my heart ache is you. The people and things you don't like, I wouldn't even touch. The wedding was just a show to make you jealous. Who told you to run away and make me unable to find you?" At that moment, I realized I was just a part of their love play, a tool for them to showcase their affection for each other. Whether I lived or died, whether my family lived or died, none of it mattered to them. In the end, my father was so enraged that he suffered a heart attack and passed away without treatment. My mother watched my father leave with her own eyes and was so traumatized that she fell into severe depression. As for me, due to constant travel and lack of proper rest, I was in a daze and got into a car accident. On the day I died, Gray Meng and Ruby Lee were grandly celebrating their wedding in all its glory. On stage, they exchanged rings, pledged their lives to each other, and appeared as the epitome of love. And my family was destroyed. I lost everything I cared about. They stepped over the bones of me and my family, played a game of cat and mouse in the name of love, and then enjoyed the fruits of their so-called happiness with a clear conscience. How ridiculous. In this life, I will make sure they reap what they sow. I wouldn't let Gray Meng go to help, and he was so anxious that his eyes turned red. The veins at his temples were visibly throbbing, yet I remained calm and composed, only gripping his arm tightly. "Do you know the girl on the rooftop? Why did she call me a homewrecker and say I caused her child's death?" "Gray Meng, aren't you going to give me an explanation? under the gaze of all our relatives and friends. He didn't dare to openly admit he knew her. Instead, they splashed dirty water on me. I don't know her. Who knows if you were misbehaving in the past? Stealing someone else's husband, and now they're here for revenge. I don't think we need to hold this wedding today. Our Meng family values character above all else and will not marry a promiscuous woman. I was so angry I laughed. He was the one who went on a blind date with me initially, and after 6 months of being together, he was also the one who proposed to me. I never forced him to stay with me. He used our wedding to make Ruby Lee, who had run away pregnant, panic and come back on her own, yet he still made me take the blame and bear the criticism for them. How shameless. You don't even know them. Why are you in such a hurry? Jumping off a building is no small matter. I think we should call the police directly. I took out my phone, ready to dial. Slap. The phone was violently slapped away by Grey Meng. His eyes were dark and gloomy, his voice icy cold. What are you doing? Are you trying to push her to her death, if anything happens to her? It will all be your fault. Aren't you afraid at all? Tansy Xie, how can you be so cold-blooded and vicious? My best friend beside me couldn't take it anymore. She rushed forward, ready to teach him a lesson on my behalf. I pulled my friend back behind me, meeting his gaze. Me, vicious. My wedding was going perfectly fine when suddenly a stranger showed up, screaming that I'm the other woman. Was I not supposed to call the police? Without waiting for his rebuttal, I pressed on with my questioning. Even if I prioritize human life and disregard her slander against me for now, is it wrong to seek police help when encountering someone attempting to jump off a building on the street? Even elementary school students know this. How can you not know? He was left speechless by my question, his face turning extremely unpleasant, yet he grabbed me tightly with his other hand, preventing me from picking up my phone. I struggled twice but failed to break free, my wrists aching from the tight grip. I had no choice but to subtly signal my best friend with a glance. She quickly caught on, grabbed her bag, and went behind the crowd to make a call. The police arrived very quickly. Contact the relevant departments for coordination, evacuate the crowd and keep unrelated personnel away. Persuade Ruby Lee on the rooftop. Everything began to proceed in an orderly manner. I also asked my cousin to take my parents away first. They were quite frightened today. The wedding is definitely not happening anymore, and there's no point staying here just to worry. It's better to go back and rest. Seeing the police, Grey Meng started to panic. Ruby Lee was not to be outdone. Before anyone could step forward to persuade her, she sheepishly came down from the rooftop on her own. In the end, a large group of people went together to the police station to give their statements. Grey Meng initially wanted to pretend not to know Ruby Lee, get through today's matter. But Ruby Lee was crying too hard. His heart ached so much it nearly broke. Unconsciously, the two of them ended up in each other's arms. I stated my position under the sympathetic gazes of the crowd. Can I sue Grey Meng for fraudulent marriage? Then I pointed at Ruby Lee. I don't know this woman either. She's spreading rumors and slandering me, so I'll sue her too. Grey Meng rushed forward, shielding Ruby Lee behind him. He glared at me darkly. Tansy Xie, you've already dragged everyone to the police station. Isn't that enough? Cut it out, don't go too far, watch out, or I won't be polite with you. I pursed my lips, not wanting to deal with him at all. Officer, as you can see, he not only committed marriage fraud but also threatened me, under the police's warning. He finally toned down his aggressive demeanor. He honestly confessed everything about his affair with Ruby Lee. When Grey Meng and Ruby Lee were dating, they faced strong opposition from Grey's mother. Grey's mother thought Ruby Lee came from a poor family and lacked proper upbringing. She offered Ruby Lee 200,000 yuan to leave Grey Meng. Ruby Lee felt insulted by the offer, believing it demeaned her dignity, so she left abruptly, taking the baby with her. Later, Grey Meng agreed to meet me for the blind date, partly because he wanted to temporarily appease Mother Meng and reduce his own pressure. On the other hand, it was also because he couldn't find Ruby Lee and was growing increasingly desperate, hoping to force her to show up. Unexpectedly, Ruby Lee, who had run away while pregnant, lost the child. When she finally appeared, she was wearing a blood-stained dress and stood on the rooftop. The whole truth came to light. Only at this moment did I truly feel that I had been reborn. In my past life, I was falsely accused of being the despised other woman. What I regret the most is not reporting it to the police at the time. As a result, Gray Meng and Ruby Lee later maliciously edited the on-site video multiple times, gaining the upper hand and inciting online harassment against me. I have no substantial evidence, I wanted to explain, but no one was willing to believe me. Now, with this police record, it won't be so easy for them to play the same tricks as in my previous life. After returning home, I explained the whole incident to my parents. They wiped away tears while feeling sorry for me, cursing Gray Meng for being a wolf in sheep's clothing. My parents had never quarreled with anyone in their lives, rarely even uttering harsh words. That night, I heard more than enough. The next day, Gray Meng sent me a bill. It's about all the expenses related to the wedding. My share has been listed separately. The total amounts to nearly $1 million. Our family has put a lot of effort into this wedding. From my wedding dress to the team, everything was carefully selected. And of course, the price wasn't cheap. These expenses were originally agreed to not be the Meng family's responsibility. Along with the bill, Gray Meng's card number was also sent. The phone rang. Gray Meng's voice was cold. You've seen the bill, right? If everything checks out, transfer your share of the money. Don't waste my time. I rolled my eyes. If we're getting married, my family will definitely cover this expense. After all that's happened, how can you still have the nerve to ask me for money? Gray Meng hadn't even spoken yet when another woman's voice cut in first. Tansy Xie. How can you be so shameless? Shouldn't you pay for what you spent yourself? What? Couldn't seduce Brother Gray, so now you're trying to scam him out of his money. I'm telling you. Dream on. If you dare to renege on your debt, I'll make you pay. Before I could say anything, the call was abruptly ended. I was so angry it made my chest ache. These two people were just as shameless as they were in my past life, equally despicable. I definitely won't give them the money. I'd like to see how they plan to make me suffer. That evening, my best friend urgently called me and sent over a webpage link. The wedding day video was still posted online. This time, they didn't call me the other woman. Instead, they said I blocked the groom from going to help others, calling me cold-blooded and selfish. The video deliberately zoomed in on the detail of me tightly gripping Gray Meng's arm and not letting go. Later, they also claimed I was materialistic and only with the groom for his money. Now the wedding is off, and they're trying to extort over $1 million from the groom. I watched it from start to finish. In the video, both Gray Meng and Ruby Lee were pixelated. Yet I was the only one made to look bad. In my past life, I always thought the video being uploaded online that day was an accident. After all, there were many people at the scene, and with so many eyes around, it was hard to control. It wasn't until I approached them several times for clarification that I accidentally learned it was all orchestrated by Ruby Lee herself. Because she had bought traffic, the video spread extremely fast. People online started to stir up trouble, hurling insults at me. Is this woman sick? Not only did she not save anyone, but she also stopped others from going. Disgusting. Look how nervous she is, afraid her hard-earned rich catch might slip away, couldn't even hold the wedding and now trying to extort money from the guy, obsessed with money much. I ignored everything online and immediately contacted my cousin. I asked him to take my parents abroad for a vacation to relax. Only after arranging for my parents and ensuring they were taken care of could I focus on dealing with them properly. I thought that after this incident, Gray Meng and Ruby Lee would likely lay low for a while to observe the impact of the public opinion attack. I still need to wait for the right moment. Unexpectedly, the very next afternoon, Ruby Lee herself appeared downstairs at my company. Ruby Lee was still wearing the same white dress from the wedding day. After a few days, the bloodstains on the hem of the dress had darkened and become even more conspicuous. As soon as I appeared, she threw herself to her knees before me, tears streaming down her face. Miss Xie, I was wrong. Please forgive me. I didn't mean to ruin your wedding, but Gray and I knew each other first, and we even have a child together. As she spoke, she lifted the hem of her skirt. Look, my child. He left this world before he even had a chance to see it. I beg you, Miss Xie, if you must blame someone, blame me. Just return the money to Gray. $1 million is no small sum. I'm just an ordinary person. I truly can't bear this burden. I was caught completely off guard when she pounced on me. After snapping back to reality, I quickly glanced around. Sure enough, scattered among the surrounding crowd were people holding up cameras in twos and threes. The Meng family might not truly care about this $1 million, they just want to use this to ruin my reputation and claim the moral high ground for themselves. I tried pulling her up several times, but Ruby Lee clung tightly to the ground. With my strength, there was no way I could lift her up. Miss Xie, even though you caused me to lose my child, I don't hate you. I know, you just loved Brother Gray too much, so much that you went about it the wrong way. I just beg you. Return the 1 million to the Meng family. It was me who ruined your wedding. It has nothing to do with the Meng family. My child's life has already been paid to you. If that's not enough, take me too. I'll give you my life as well. I'll give you my life too. Okay, she pleaded with me through her sobs, desperately trying to kowtow to me. $1 million is nothing to you. But for an ordinary person like me, it's truly an enormous amount. I can't pay it back. Watching her performance, I suddenly felt a bit of admiration for her. With acting skills like this, if given the chance to enter the entertainment industry, they could definitely make a name for themselves. Why cling stubbornly to Gray Meng? Little girl, be merciful where mercy is due. Pushing someone to this point is truly pitiful. One must not have a wicked conscience. Cheating people out of their money is unacceptable. Beware of karma, you should return it to them right away. Exactly, at such a young age. Is this how your parents taught you to avoid repaying debts? I bet their spines would be broken from all the pointing fingers. Among the onlookers, some began to speak up for her. It seemed that collectively condemning me had become the only form of justice at that moment. Ruby Lee, in a direction away from the crowd, watched me with eager anticipation in her eyes. She is waiting, waiting for me to get angry, waiting for me to scold and question her, waiting for me to become the unreasonable, hysterical woman in others' eyes. At that time, just like in my past life, no matter how I explain, others will first doubt the truthfulness of my words. I never expected Ruby Lee to keep resorting to manipulating public opinion, but since she's already made her move, now it's my turn. I called 2 people over, and together we managed to pull Ruby Lee up from the ground, then gently wiped away her tears and smoothed her hair. Miss Lee, although my wedding was ruined, I never blamed you. On the contrary, I should thank you. I held her hand with genuine sincerity. If you hadn't deliberately gone to the rooftop to stage this scene, how would I have known that Gray Meng is a 2-timing scumbag? On one hand, he was involved with you in an ambiguous relationship, even resulting in a child. On the other hand, he was dating me, claiming to be single. I should thank you. Thank you for bravely speaking the truth. My gaze was utterly sincere as I smiled at her with tender charm. She flusteredly explained, no, I wasn't acting, and Brother Gray isn't a scumbag either. I cut her off first. As for the 1 million, this 1 million is the debt I need to settle with the Meng family. It was never your concern to begin with. Why insist on taking it upon yourself? I took a sharp breath in, covering my mouth in shock. Gray Meng wouldn't be so low as to pin this on you, would he? Did he force you to take responsibility for this 1 million? She was about to speak when I cut in again. See, I told you he's a total jerk, but don't worry, you don't need to deal with this. I've already handed everything over to my lawyer. I'll have the lawyer contact him later and give him a proper legal education. Ms. Lee, if you have time, you can join in and listen too. Get a little legal education together. Her expression gradually darkened, yet she understood. Today's tide has turned. I wasn't provoked by her into a frenzy. The onlookers didn't understand the situation, but they no longer spoke up for her based solely on her words. What she wanted couldn't be captured at all today. Seeing that the act had gone on long enough, I didn't want to drag it out with her any further. I had security disperse the crowd and even thoughtfully called her a car to send her back. I heard Ruby Lee received a call on the way and had a big argument with the person on the other end, saying that none of the footage recorded today is usable and that we'll have to reschedule. Yet the other side still insisted she pay the full amount, which made her so angry she threw her phone. Little did she know, after going back, I still have a big gift waiting for her. Ruby Lee didn't get the footage she wanted, but I already had more than enough for what I needed. While she was still on her way, I contacted someone to quickly edit and upload the video online. By linking it to the trending topic they had previously bought, we enjoyed free exposure without spending a single cent. I did my best to ensure that the moment she got home, she would see her name on the trending list. Along with it, The police incident report from the wedding day was also posted. It provided a detailed account of what truly happened that day. I didn't even need to rally anyone to steer the narrative. The online sentiment flipped instantly. Those who once spoke up for Gray Meng and Ruby Lee are now the ones stomping on them the hardest. These two are really something. Do they think they're acting in a drama? Oh my god, one's a runaway with a baby bump, the other's a deceitful scumbag. Truly something you don't see every day. The bride should stay far away from them. Who knows when the plot might twist into heart or kidney theft, car accidents, or miscarriages. She could end up losing her life to their games. Reading this comment, my heart ached. In my past life, wasn't it them who played me to death? Who would have thought fiction would become reality? Their love was fulfilled at the cost of my entire existence as the cannon fodder supporting female character. This incident has truly opened the eyes of netizens. Everyone urged them to lock it down quickly, so they wouldn't come out and harm others. That night, Ruby Lee couldn't stand the online ridicule and posted 3 updates in a row to lash out at netizens. Gray isn't a scumbag at all, we were together first. Tansy Sierra is the homewrecker who came between us. Instead of blaming the homewrecker, you're attacking me. Are you out of your minds? What's wrong with me running away pregnant? What's wrong with me being the heroine of my own love story? You're just jealous because you can't pull off a runaway pregnancy. Your eyes are green with envy. The book says you idiots are nothing but cannon fodder villains. If you don't hurry up and suck up to me now, you'll all just be stepping stones for me in the future. It would have been better if Ruby Lee hadn't shown up. Her appearance gave netizens the perfect outlet to vent. Her overly arrogant attitude. This only made netizens focus their firepower on her, of course. I couldn't let Gray Meng get off scot-free. I quickly hired a wave of trolls to tag him non-stop for 24 hours, determined to drag him down too. In less than 3 days, Gray Meng showed up at my doorstep. Rong, it was all my fault before. Could you explain it to the netizens? This term of endearment made me feel dazed for a moment. Gray Meng and I had been set up on a blind date for half a year, and I hadn't planned to get married so soon. It was when he got drunk once. And I went to pick him up to take him home. He held me all night, calling out Ruby. At that time, I didn't realize this Ruby wasn't the same as Rong. I only thought he was serious about love and might have truly fallen for me during our time together, so when he proposed later, I agreed without much hesitation. Hearing that term again made me feel a bit nauseous. Frowning, I asked him, explain what? He awkwardly rubbed his nose. Just say we're in a fake marriage to appease our parents. That way, no one will keep calling me a two-timing scumbag. My mom's blood pressure has been acting up these past few days, and the house is in complete chaos. Dealing with all this online mess has left me sleepless. It's unbearable. You wouldn't want to see me keep getting bashed, would you? We were almost husband and wife, after all. A day as husband and wife brings 100 days of kindness. Just explain things to the netizens, and we can put this behind us. I don't even need you to return that million. Consider it compensation for you. If he hadn't mentioned being husband and wife, I wouldn't have felt anything. At the mention of being a couple, I couldn't help but scoff. Gray Meng, it wasn't until today that I realized just how shameless you are. How dare you bring up that we almost became a couple, in broad daylight? I advise you to stop dreaming. I won't speak up for you, seeing that I refused to agree. He tried to step forward and grab my hand. I quickly took a step back, avoiding his touch. I called the patrolling security guard and decisively had him removed from the neighborhood. He just couldn't handle the chaos at home and a few sleepless nights. In my previous life, my family was destroyed and everyone died. At that time, he was still laughing at me, saying I deserved it. Indeed, one only knows the pain when the needle pierces their own flesh, although without my help. The matter was still resolved that very night. However, Gray Meng's solution truly opened my eyes. The Meng family went live that very night. They recounted the entire process from Gray Meng's and my blind date to our marriage. Gray Meng shed tears several times during the broadcast. He swore and vowed that his feelings for me were genuine, and that he truly wanted to marry me. A netizen asked him, "Then why does Ruby Lee have a child?" He took a deep breath, covered his face, and choked up for a while. Seeing that he was too emotional to calm down, Father Meng answered the question for him. That day, Tansy had a minor argument with Gray. Gray was also in a bad mood and drank heavily at the bar, which gave Ruby Lee the opportunity to drug him. This incident caused Gray immense pain. We never dared to tell Tansy, fearing she would blame herself. Reading this, I couldn't help but laugh. They pinned all the blame on Ruby Lee, while clearing your own name. You had to drag me out to trample on me, created a devoted lover persona for Gray Meng. I was planted with the impression of being petty and unreasonable. Ruby Lee was subjected to even harsher criticism. Gray Meng has become the good guy in the hearts of netizens. The main culprit became the only winner. I waited for a long time, but Ruby Lee never came forward to refute it. I don't know why she agreed to the Meng family's actions, but soon, Gray Meng provided the answer. He sent me a message. Monday morning at the Civil Affairs Bureau entrance, bring your documents and let's get divorced. Back when Gray Meng and I were about to get married, his mother insisted we obtain the marriage certificate first. I don't care when we get the marriage certificate. Gray Meng did try to make a few excuses, but Mother Meng was firm in her stance, so he didn't say anything more. Mother Meng doesn't like Ruby Lee and doesn't want Ruby Lee as her daughter-in-law, which is why she wants to settle things between me and Gray Meng as soon as possible. But she had little understanding of her son and Ruby Lee. To them, this marriage certificate was nothing more than a worthless piece of paper in the face of their love, morality, propriety, and even the lives of others were to be set aside. Now, the Meng family had agreed to let her enter their household on the condition that Ruby Lee bear the brunt of the public scorn alone. No matter how much Gray Meng's heart ached, it couldn't outweigh Ruby Lee's own willingness, leaving him no choice but to compromise once again. But this time, the two finally got what they wished for. On Monday, as Gray Meng and I finished the paperwork and stepped out of the Civil Affairs Bureau, Ruby Lee came running over. She threw herself into Gray Meng's arms. I can finally marry you now, brother Gray. Gray Meng held her close and gently tapped her nose. Silly girl. You're the only one I've ever wanted to marry. You're the one who never believed it. Ruby Lee turned her head and gave me a provocative smile. I'm afraid even a glance at these two would dirty my eyes. Without even looking back, she turned and walked away. Let them put on their own show here. A few days later, I was working overtime at the company, drawing design drafts, when my best friend mysteriously came to find me. Tansy, Gray Meng and Ruby Lee are getting married. Don't you have any thoughts about it? I didn't even pause in my work. What thoughts could I possibly have about their marriage? Hearing me say this, my best friend became extremely anxious. Back when Ruby Lee ruined your wedding, even though seeing through that scumbag turned out to be a blessing in disguise. I just can't swallow this anger. How about we go mess with them on their wedding day too? My eyes remained fixed on the screen. But my heart stirred slightly. Although what happened last time made them suffer for a while, it didn't cause any direct damage. It's time to take the next step. I patted my best friend's hand to reassure her. You don't need to do anything. Just sit back and enjoy the show when the time comes. The next afternoon, I had someone deliver a document to the Meng family. In my past life, I was cyberbullied, with the most critical accusation being that I caused the death of Ruby Lee's child. Even when recognized on the street, people would call me a murderer. Yet, from beginning to end, I was completely baffled by this matter. Before the wedding, I had never met Ruby Lee. I didn't even know this person existed. What does her miscarriage have to do with me? After being reborn, I immediately arranged for someone to thoroughly investigate how Ruby Lee had her miscarriage. I just got the results a few days ago. I never expected it to give me such a big surprise. That night, I turned off my phone early and slept soundly. I heard the Meng family argued all night. Mr. and Mrs. Meng scolded everyone from Ruby Lee to Gray Meng. I will never agree to Ruby Lee marrying into the Meng family. At first, Gray Meng insisted on marrying no one but Ruby Lee, refusing to compromise even when his father pointed at his nose and called him unfilial. Gray Meng actually showed some backbone this time. He knelt before his parents, unwavering in his resolve. Dad, Mom, I've already failed Ruby once and even lost our child. This time, I swear I won't fail her again. Old Mr. Meng was so furious he nearly had a heart attack. Clutching his chest, he threw the documents in his face. Gray Meng picked up the papers in confusion, and his face turned green after reading them. Their child was lost when Ruby Lee ran away pregnant and messed around with other men. Afraid Gray Meng would find out, she didn't even dare go to a proper hospital. Just found some small clinic to handle it herself. On the wedding day, for dramatic effect, She deliberately bought chicken blood from the market and smeared it under her skirt. Then she lied to Gray Meng, saying it was because of my interference that she got upset and lost the baby. I didn't continue following how Gray Meng settled accounts with Ruby Lee later. Every day was either busy drawing design drafts or studying design knowledge, although the current job is good, but after being reborn, I want to try some different challenges from before. In my past life, I was often praised by many industry veterans for my talent, saying my works had a unique spark. In this life, I don't want to give up my talent and dreams. I want to establish my own jewelry design studio, to create my own jewelry brand. Now I'm busy drawing more and accumulating more experience. Every second feels like it needs to be split into several parts to be fully utilized. The next day, as soon as I turned on my phone, the ringtone started blaring wildly. Ruby Lee's voice was sharp, piercing right through my eardrums. "It's you, Tansy Xie, isn't it? You're the one trying to ruin me." I let out a mocking laugh. "What, are you a dog, biting people first thing in the morning?" She seemed oblivious to my words, continuing her rant as if talking to herself. "Don't think I don't know. It must be you secretly investigating me. It must be you scheming against me. You're jealous that Gray only loves me and not you. You want to destroy me. I'm telling you, if you think you can steal Gray away, you're dreaming. I won't let you succeed." She kept repeating the same words over and over. It didn't sound quite right. I couldn't be bothered with her, so I hung up and blocked her in one swift move. But I underestimated Ruby Lee's persistence. That very afternoon, she cornered me again at my regular coffee shop. This was the first time Ruby Lee and I sat face to face for a private conversation. Her hair was disheveled, and her face had a somewhat ashen hue. Compared to my good condition, she appeared even more disheveled and wretched. "Tansy Xie, I won't give Gray to you, no matter how many tricks you use." As soon as we met, she hastily declared her sovereignty. I suddenly feel a touch of irony. In my past life, I had once appeared before a radiant Ruby Lee in the same way, begging her to clarify the truth and show mercy. More wretched and pitiful than she is now, I sighed and put down my coffee cup. "Ruby Lee, when you think about it, you're quite ridiculous. After all that effort, the Meng family still won't let you in, sticking by Gray Meng's side all day, snapping at any woman who passes by. Aren't you exhausted?" I curled the corner of my lips. Unlike you, I can effortlessly gain the Meng family's approval. "I heard Gray Meng's parents didn't let you in again. I bet in a few days they'll come begging me to marry their son. After all, I'm the best option they can get. By then, it'll be too late for you to do anything." Ruby Lee slammed the table and stood up. "You bitch, you're dreaming." I sighed and said to her earnestly, "The one who's been dreaming all along is you. Did you really think you could hold on to Gray Meng just with feelings? Is that all you've got? Seems like he'll be snatched away by someone else sooner or later. If not me, it would have been someone else." She stood there in a daze for a long time. So long that the customers in the coffee shop came and went in waves. For the next half-month, Ruby Lee and Gray Meng seemed to have vanished. The next time their names were mentioned was when news broke of their impending marriage. The wedding was scheduled in just 3 days. It felt rushed, almost like a game. On the wedding day, the sun was scorching. I didn't attend. My best friend went to the venue early in the morning and live-streamed the wedding for me. I took the documents and went straight to the police station. Gray Meng and Ruby Lee moved in together a few days ago. Now they're about to hold their wedding. Yet the cooling-off period for my divorce from Gray Meng hasn't even ended. According to my best friend, this wedding is even more chaotic than mine was. The two were on stage sharing their sweet love story. The police suddenly appeared to arrest someone. Gray Meng remained silent where he stood. Ruby Lee stared at him intently, demanding that he beg Gray's parents, whether through connections or money, to ensure this wedding would be completed. "Forget it." Gray Meng hung his head for a long time, only managing to utter these 2 words. Upon hearing this, Ruby Lee went berserk, clawing and biting at him while screaming, "Do you think anyone else would want you? Who else would be willing to marry you? Forget it. Why should we forget it? If this wedding doesn't happen today, Gray Meng, you know the consequences." Everything on the stage was smashed to pieces by Ruby Lee. In the end, she was pinned to the ground and forcibly taken away. I handed over all the divorce follow-up matters to my lawyer, focus on perfecting the design draft at hand. After wrapping things up, I plan to take a good rest for a while. Coincidentally, my cousin mentioned that my parents have had enough fun abroad. They've been insisting on coming back these past few days. I plan to spend quality time with them when they return, fulfilling my filial duties by their side, to make up for the regrets I couldn't address in my past life. But before that, the Meng family's matters still need to be resolved first. The Meng family is currently in complete chaos. Father Meng and Mother Meng sought connections everywhere, pulling strings to find a reliable lawyer. They spent a considerable amount of money in the process. Finally, they managed to temporarily get Gray Meng and Ruby Lee out. After their release, Ruby Lee insisted on holding another wedding ceremony. This time, the Meng family firmly opposed it. The Meng family lost all face in front of relatives and friends. Holding another wedding would only bring more shame. Father Meng's hair had turned noticeably whiter, with reddened eyes. He told Gray Meng, "Gray, since you were little, your mother and I have supported whatever you wanted to do. But ever since you got together with this Ruby Lee, our family hasn't had a moment of peace. Our Meng family accepts this lesson learned. You must break up with that Ruby Lee. There are plenty of good girls out there. We don't have to insist on her. If you still insist on being with her, then I'll consider myself as having no son." Gray Meng's eyes were also red, but he still refused to agree. He fell to his knees with a thud before his parents. "Dad, Mom, I have my reasons. I must marry Ruby Lee." For the first time, Father Meng felt disappointed in his son. He confined Gray Meng at home, cutting off all contact with the outside world and forbidding him from seeing Ruby Lee. For 3 consecutive days, Ruby Lee searched every place Gray Meng might have gone. She even showed up at my doorstep. Nothing was found. On the 4th day, an infuriated Ruby Lee released a video online. After our last meeting, Ruby Lee drugged Gray Meng during dinner to completely tie him down. She then sent him into an older man's room. With the recorded video in hand, she demanded that Gray Meng marry her, or she would ruin his reputation. Gray Meng, despite his unwillingness at this moment, had no way out. This time, he didn't expect that in just 3 days. While he was still trying to figure out how to go out and appease Ruby Lee, she had already released the video. I helped Ruby Lee gain more traction online. I also withdrew the people who had been following them all along. I understand Gray Meng. His extremely high self-esteem wouldn't allow himself to appear so wretched in others' eyes. Before my parents returned, I bought a new house. The security in this residential area is much stricter, with a very high safety level, enough to ensure they wouldn't be easily found or influenced by any unrelated people or matters. A friend introduced me to a big name in the jewelry design industry. I showed my design sketches to them. They expressed great appreciation for my designs and were willing to provide me with relevant guidance. I just had to go to their city. The night before I left, I received a call from an unknown number. There was silence on the other end for a long time. It wasn't until I was about to hang up that Gray Meng's hoarse voice finally came through. "Tansy, if we had gotten married smoothly back then, maybe none of this would have happened. Ruby Lee ruined our wedding, and she ruined me. Tansy, I regret it." I let out a light laugh. "There are no ifs, we will never get married." The call ended. He will never know, having experienced such a tragic past life, even without Ruby Lee in this lifetime. I could never marry him. I studied with the teacher continuously for half a month. During those 2 weeks, apart from necessary contact with family, I barely touched my phone. When I got back, my best friend picked me up at the airport. As soon as we met, she urgently told me, "Ruby Lee is dead." I froze for a moment, finding it hard to believe. My best friend continued to explain. After Gray Meng was released by the Meng family, he searched everywhere for Ruby Lee. He finally cornered her in a small rented room, and as soon as they met, he stabbed Ruby Lee more than a dozen times with a knife. Ruby Lee died on the spot. Gray Meng called the police himself and waited quietly for them to arrive. This time, no matter how much Gray Meng's parents begged or even spent their entire fortune, they couldn't reduce his sentence. 3 months later, my studio was officially established. I have my own brand now. On the opening day, I invited all my beloved relatives and friends. Last time, they witnessed my disheveled state and my failed marriage. This time, they witnessed my professional success and the bright future I possess. Maybe one day, my brand will become a household name, known to everyone. I will use my designs to tell every person, We are not the cannon fodder in someone else's story, not the so-called villainess, and certainly not anyone's stepping stone. We are all the protagonists of our own lives.